Amidst countless difficulties, challenges and seemingly insurmountable misfortunes, Tien still maintains a warm and loving heart. She not only perseveres in overcoming her fate, but also spreads her compassion to those around her. Join us in discovering Tien's inspiring journey in today's video. Early in the morning, when the sun had not yet risen behind the trees in the distance, in a cozy little house on the outskirts of the city, a new day was quietly beginning. The quiet space was gently broken by the rhythmic sound of footsteps, steady breathing, and the soft sound of floor cushions coming from the ground floor. It was Jack, the man who always started his day with simple but disciplined exercises. He wore a thin gray t-shirt and dark sweatpants, his tall, toned figure standing out in the gentle light of the early morning. Beads of sweat dotted his forehead. His breathing was somewhat rapid but exuded flexibility and strength. The house, though quiet, was not cold at all. On the contrary, every sound, every movement seemed to make the space more lively and full of vitality. From upstairs, Tien stood quietly by the stairs, looking down at the man who was absorbed in his exercise. In her eyes shone a warm, quiet but profound happiness. A soft smile bloomed on her lips, a smile of peace, of a heart filled with love. She stepped down, gently as if afraid to break that peaceful moment. Into the kitchen, she took a clean glass, filled it with cool water from the filter. Gently, she brought the glass to where Jack was resting in the middle of his practice. "Drink some water," she said softly, her eyes filled with affection. Jack looked up, looked at her with a familiar warm gaze, then took the glass. "Thank you," he said, his voice hoarse but friendly. After a big sip, he exhaled, feeling a little more comfortable. "Go take a shower. I'll cook breakfast," Tien continued, her hand lightly touching his as a loving gesture. Jack nodded, returned her a grateful smile, and walked upstairs. The gentle sound of running water echoed in the bathroom. While in the kitchen, Tien began to prepare a simple but affectionate breakfast. Eggs were fried golden brown on a hot pan. The toast smelled fragrant. A few slices of butter were thinly sliced. Some green vegetables and fresh fruit were arranged on the plate. She also made 2 cups of hot milk coffee, the morning habit of both of them. Each action was skillful and gentle, as if she had done this hundreds of times and still did not get bored. Jack returned, his hair still wet, wearing a clean white shirt and trousers. He approached the place where Tien was cooking. He gently kissed Tien. The two sat down at the table. The sunlight had now begun to filter through the glass window, casting a gentle light on the shiny tabletop. Breakfast took place in a relaxed atmosphere. The sound of spoons lightly touching plates. The sound of sipping coffee mixed with the sound of birds chirping in the yard. Tien spoke softly while taking a bite of bread. "I was thinking, maybe in a few days I'll go to the farm to see how things are. It's been a long time since I've been there. I miss it." Jack looked up, finished chewing his egg, then slowly replied, "The construction workers are doing the foundation now. The dust is everywhere. Going there won't help much. Let's wait a few more days, until they've built the frame of the house. Then we'll go. Then it'll be meaningful." He took a sip of coffee, his eyes still following her. "Or this morning, do you miss Mrs. Tam? It's been a long time since we've been there. She called me yesterday, asking why I haven't seen you lately. I was going to take you to visit her for a while." Tien was surprised. Her eyes lit up with joy. "Really? I was thinking of calling her too. I haven't seen her for over a month. Let's go now." Jack nodded, a slight smile appearing on his lips. Breakfast ended in satisfaction. The two of them cleaned up the dishes and washed the dishes together. A small but intimate habit. Tien wiped the table, while Jack took the car keys and checked his phone again. No rush, no noise, every action was calm, as if the two of them had lived together for a long time, understanding each other down to the smallest detail. The car slowly rolled out of the gate, on a white car with black trim. Jack and Tien sat next to each other, both immersed in a peaceful space. Tien leaned lightly on the chair, her hand twirling a strand of hair, her eyes looking outside with a thoughtful look. Suddenly, she turned to look at Jack and said, her voice soft as an intimate suggestion, "Or, Let's stop by the market to buy some food and then stop by Mrs. Tam's house. I want to cook something delicious for her. Jack tilted his head to look at her, smiling comfortably. I was about to say that too. It's raining and cool like this. Making a pot of sour snakehead fish soup with some braised meat. Mrs. Tam will probably love it. Stopping the car right in front of the market gate, Jack reached behind the chair to get a large umbrella, then turned to Tien. Let's go. It's not raining too much. We can share this umbrella. Tien smiled, her hand linking with Jack's as he opened the umbrella. Under the small umbrella, the two of them walked slowly among the bustling people. The road surface was wet with rain, small puddles of water reflecting the pale light of the gloomy morning. The fish stall was right at the front row, where there were tubs of fresh fish still wriggling. The salesgirl smiled invitingly, and Jack quickly chose a large, firm snakehead fish that was still wriggling vigorously when it was taken out of the water. Tien stood next to him, asking for more Vietnamese coriander, mint, and tomatoes, the indispensable ingredients for a truly Vietnamese sour soup. Next, they stopped at the meat counter. Tien looked carefully, then chose a piece of pork belly with a balanced amount of fat and lean meat. Perfect for braising eggs or stewing with salt to eat with hot rice. Under the light rain, they turned to the fruit section. The stalls of bananas, guavas, and oranges were neatly displayed, the rain making the fruit look shiny and fresh as if it had just been washed clean of dust. Tien chose some pink-fleshed guavas and a few juicy oranges. Ba Tam often has a sore throat. Eating more oranges will make her feel better, she said, her hand gently wiping the rainwater off the orange peel. The two of them walked and talked, carefully choosing each item together, as if going to the market was not just about buying things, but also an opportunity to enjoy simple, everyday things together. Every time Jack reached out to hold the umbrella closer to Tien, her eyes would shine with a quiet warmth. After shopping, they returned to the car. Jack opened the door for Tien to get in first, then carefully folded the umbrella, wiped the water from her hair and shirt before getting into the driver's seat. She leaned over to help him wipe away a few drops of rain that remained on his collar. A small action but filled with sincere concern. The car slowly rolled out of the gate, on a white car with black trim. Jack and Tien sat next to each other, both immersed in a peaceful space. The car started. The two chatted animatedly all the way, discussing what to cook first. Who would prepare the vegetables? Who would season it? You're in charge of seasoning it. If you season it, it'll be too salty, Tien said, giggling. It was still drizzling when the car stopped in front of Mrs. Tam's gate. Jack turned off the engine. There was no sound in front of the gate, no sign of anyone coming or going as usual. She looked at Jack, suddenly feeling a vague sense of unease rising in her heart. Mrs. Tam, Jack called out loudly, his voice echoing in the rain-soaked yard. No one answered. He called out again, this time with Tien. Mrs. Tam, we're here. Still silent. There was only the sound of the wind whistling through the banana leaves and the sound of rain pattering on the old porch. Jack approached the gate. The door wasn't locked. How strange. Tien whispered, her eyes worried. They both walked into the yard. The bougainvillea pots on both sides of the path drooped, heavy with water, as if signaling something unusual. They arrived at the door, calling again, but still no one answered. Mrs. Tam, Tien called softly, her voice starting to falter. As soon as they entered, they saw Mrs. Tam curled up on the old wooden bed, the blanket covering her chest, her face pale and drenched in sweat. Her eyes were closed, her breathing weak. The room was eerily silent. Only the ticking of the wall clock remained. Jack, she's been lying here, for what seems like a few days. Tien exclaimed, her voice trembling. She rushed to the bed, knelt down, and gently took Mrs. Tam's cold hand. Jack also hurriedly ran over, placing his hand on her forehead. It's very hot. She must have a high fever, he said quickly. Let me call the doctor. While Jack pulled out his phone to dial, Tien gently stroked her sweaty hair, her eyes filled with panic and sympathy. She lifted the blanket to check, took a towel to wipe the sweat from her forehead, her hands shaking with each beat. Grandma, wake up. I'm here, you're okay? She whispered in her ear as if to comfort her. Her voice choked. They arrived at the door, calling again, but still no one answered. Mrs. Tam, Tien called softly, her voice starting to falter. As soon as they entered, they saw Mrs. Tam curled up on the old wooden bed, the blanket covering her chest, her face pale and drenched in sweat. Her eyes were closed, her breathing weak. The room was eerily silent. Only the ticking of the wall clock remained. Jack, she's been lying here for what seems like a few days. Tien exclaimed, her voice trembling. She rushed to the bed, knelt down, and gently took Mrs. Tam's cold hand. Jack also hurriedly ran over, placing his hand on her forehead. It's very hot. She must have a high fever, he said quickly. Let me call the doctor. While Jack pulled out his phone to dial, Tien gently stroked her sweaty hair. Her eyes filled with panic and sympathy. She lifted the blanket to check, took a towel to wipe the sweat from her forehead, her hands shaking with each beat. Grandma, wake up. I'm here, you're okay? She whispered in her ear as if to comfort her. Her voice choked. A moment later, the doctor arrived, a middle-aged woman, carrying a bag of medical supplies. She quickly examined Mrs. Tam, measured her blood pressure, checked her temperature, and listened to her heartbeat. Mrs. Tam has high blood pressure and a high fever, the doctor said seriously. Luckily you came in time. Otherwise it could have led to a stroke. She prescribed medicine, giving careful instructions. You must take your fever-reducing and blood pressure medicine on time. Give her light meals and absolute rest. If there are any unusual signs such as difficulty breathing or delirium, you must take her to the hospital immediately. Jack nodded continuously, writing down every word the doctor said. Tien was still sitting next to her, holding her hand. When the doctor left, she turned to Jack, her voice determined. I will stay here to take care of her. I cannot leave her alone like this. Before he could say anything more, Jack's mother and Uncle Hung, a close neighbor, had just arrived. They had received the news from Jack and immediately ran over, equally worried. Mom, Mrs. Tam has been sick for several days and no one knew. Luckily we got there in time, Jack said, his eyes still fixed on Mrs. Tam, who was lying there breathing heavily. Oh my God, Mrs. Tam lives alone. It's dangerous if no one notices. Jack's mother sighed, then quickly went in to replace Tien to take care of her, covering her with a blanket and wiping her face with a clean towel. I was going to cook porridge for her, Tien said, washing the rice and looking around for ingredients. Mom, help me cut ginger. Jack's mother nodded, quickly slicing ginger, while Jack stood to help put the pot on, wash the vegetables, and prepare a few more dishes for the evening. Although it was still raining outside, inside the kitchen, the fire burned brightly, giving off the warmth of family. The sound of knives and chopping boards, the sound of the pot of porridge boiling, the gentle voices of people talking seemed to dispel the gloomy atmosphere of the afternoon. A moment later, Mrs. Tam woke up, her eyes slightly open. Tien quickly ran to her side, smiling softly. Grandma, are you awake? It's me. Jack is here with you too. Mrs. Tam nodded slightly, her dry mouth moving. Tien quickly got some water to feed her. Her old eyes were sparkling with tears. It was unclear whether it was because of illness or emotion. Grandma, don't worry, we will stay here with you. You have to be well to eat with us again, Jack said, gently squeezing her hand as if promising. That night, the whole family sat around a simple but warm meal. Mrs. Tam ate a few spoonfuls of porridge, then lay down on the bed to rest, while Jack, Tien and his mother sat in the kitchen eating, whispering and talking. Outside, the light rain has not stopped yet. But in that house, there is a light warmer than the sunlight. It is human love. It is sharing. It is supporting each other through the weakest moments.
Cô gái ấy đã từng yếu đuối, đã từng khóc trong im lặng, đã từng muốn buông xuôi tất cả. Cuộc đời không nhẹ nhàng với cô. Có những ngày tưởng như mọi thứ đều quay lưng, tình yêu tan vỡ, niềm tin bị phản bội, giấc mơ vỡ vụn. Người ta nhìn cô mà chẳng ai biết rằng đằng sau ánh mắt bình thản là cả một bầu trời giông tố. Nhưng rồi cô không gục ngã. Cô gồng mình đứng dậy, nhặt từng mảnh vỡ của bản thân và ghép lại bằng niềm tin, bằng nghị lực. Cô học cách mỉm cười dù trái tim đau nhói, học cách bước đi một mình dù đôi chân mệt mỏi. Cô không còn mong người khác cứu mình nữa, vì cô biết chỉ có chính mình mới là bến đỗ an toàn nhất. Mỗi vết thương là một bài học, mỗi lần gục ngã là một lần trưởng thành. Cô gái ấy đã bước qua cơn bão không phải vì trời quang mây tạnh mà là vì đủ mạnh mẽ để tiếp tục đi, dù mưa gió vẫn còn đó. Giờ đây nhìn lại, cô không còn trách móc hay buồn đâu. Cô biết ơn quá khứ vì giờ nhờ đó cô đã trưởng thành một người con gái bản lĩnh, kiên cường và rực rỡ theo cách riêng của mình.